So earlier this week, I deleted a Facebook post that was going absolutely viral. And I don't mean it was just doing okay. I mean, really going viral. Over 100,000 views in the first 4 hours. And it was still climbing at breakneck speeds. And the shares were nonstop. The reaction and comments were pouring in from everywhere. And it would have easily hit 1 million views or even a lot more. But I deleted it. And that single move may have saved everything I've spent years building. Let me walk you through what happened. This week, a major topic had the whole country glued to their phones and their computers and their TVs. It was all over the media, and everyone had an opinion. Everyone had something to say. And like most people with a platform, I said something too. Not because I wanted attention and not to stir things up, but because I had something that I truly believed needed to be said, and then I hit publish. And almost instantly, it blew up in a seemingly good way. Tens of thousands of views, then 100,000. Comments and shares flying in from every angle. And the post had all the signals of a viral hit. And if you've been online long enough, especially in content marketing or business building, you know how this usually goes. Virality is often treated like the goal. More eyeballs, more engagement, more reach. That's what we're taught to chase. And it feels like progress and like success. But here's the thing that most people never talk about. Going viral can be one of the worst things to happen to your business. Because not all attention is good attention. And that's what I was facing. See, the post wasn't about business or marketing. It wasn't aligned with the kind of message I've spent years developing. And it definitely wasn't meant to attract my ideal client or speak to the kind of person that I serve. The post was emotional and it was controversial and it was pulling in a completely different kind of audience. People who didn't know me, didn't trust me, and had zero interest in what I actually do or what I stand for in the entrepreneurial world. The engagement was skyrocketing high for sure, but it was from the wrong crowd. A crowd that was just showing up to argue, fight, and toss their opinions around like darts. And if you've ever dealt with that online, you know how fast things can spiral. But the bigger issue wasn't just the comment section or my feelings. The real issue was how the algorithm would interpret it. Now, let me explain. If the algorithm sees a post getting a huge amount of engagement, it starts showing your future content to that same crowd, not your real audience, and not the people who want to learn from you or work with you. That means the next time I share something that actually matters to my business, like a killer marketing strategy or a tip that's helped clients to make 6 figures, it won't land where it should. Instead, it goes out to people all over the internet who just want to argue, people who aren't there for business, people who don't care about what I actually offer, and that creates a serious long-term problem. Suddenly, your own content gets ignored by the very people that you're trying to serve. The stuff that could actually change someone's business. It dies in the feed because now the platform thinks you're here to start debates, not help entrepreneurs. That's when I knew that I had to pull the plug. So I deleted the post, even though it was still going strong, and even though people were calling me crazy for doing it. But I've been doing this long enough to know how this plays out. A viral post that pulls in the wrong people is not worth the short-term dopamine hit. It confuses your message and muddies your brand, and it builds an audience that you can't serve. Worse, it trains the algorithm to feed your content to strangers who have no business being on your list, in your feed, or in your funnel. and I've worked too hard to get clear on who I serve and how I help. Dan Kennedy teaches something called message to market match. It's the idea that your message should speak directly to the person you're trying to help. Not to everyone, not to the masses, to the right person. And the further you stray from that, even if it gets you likes and shares, the more it costs you in the long run. Look, I get the temptation. I understand why people jump into trending topics, especially when it feels like your voice might make a difference. But if you're building a brand or a business that you actually care about, you've got to ask yourself the tough question. Is this helping my audience, or is this just getting attention? Because there's a big difference. So yes, I chose to delete a post that could have gone to millions of people, and I have zero regrets about it. I'd rather speak to 100 people who align with my mission than 1 million people who aren't. And if you're growing an audience right now, hear this. Be intentional, be strategic, and be careful what kind of crowd you're building, because the wrong audience will slow your growth, dilute your message, and keep the right people from ever finding you. And if you want more of this kind of honest, behind the scenes insight, stuff most marketers are too afraid to say out loud, come hang out in my free community at profitmoffat.com/community. I'll put a link down below in the description. We share real strategies that help real people build real businesses. That's profitmoffat.com/community. Come hang out over there and let's see what we can build together.